Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Several months back, I had a guy that was kind of a bull in a china shop. Just lacking tact. He'd come in a situation, he'd say things that would offend other people. He wasn't even doing it intentionally. His heart wasn't even wrong on it. He really cared for his team. He just wasn't thinking through what he was saying. And what he was saying was like goring, because the horns were goring everybody around. He was wondering what's going on. So I had to sit down with him and explain to him, because it's hurting his business, and I was real confident he didn't want to hurt his business. So I got to sit down with him and tell him that he's goring his team. But how do I do this in a way that he doesn't feel I'm looking down upon him and thinking I'm better than him? Well, this was fairly easy, since I've done my share of goring over the years. You know, one cool thing, that's like they say that the best security guard is an ex-thief. You follow? The best security guard is an ex-thief. In other words, if you've done something wrong, that when you figure out how to do it right, you're first of all going to be very forgiving of other people's faults because you had them yourself, right? So I sat down with it, and I started it, if I remember, something like this. I'm going to change the names to protect the innocent. You know, John, I tell you what. There's one thing I've messed up over the years many times, is lacking tact. I'd come into a situation, being an engineer, I think I'd see how to fix it, and I'd just blurt out an answer, and I'd offend people, and I'd tell people they were doing stuff wrong, all kinds of things. So listen, what I'm going to share next, I'm telling you that everything I'm going to share with you, I've done 5 times worse. This ain't a big issue. It's something that's easily fixed. I just want to help you be aware of it, because I know you told me earlier you wanted to be a great leader and be able to serve your community. Absolutely. So once I started with the fact that everything I'm going to share I've done 5 times as worse, doesn't that give that individual hope? And am I attacking them? Am I making them feel small when I'm telling them, if you feel small, I was lower than that? See, that's the number one thing, is protect the person's ego. Help them feel okay with their inadequacies because you have your own. Help them feel okay with who they are, but inspire them to get better through the process. Because all of us can get better. We have to believe that. We can all get better. And in order to get better, though, we can't lose hope that we can get better. And so many people's errors come because we attack so hard that we quench the spark of light inside of them. If you snuff out the pilot light, you're never going to create the greatness inside of them. And sadly, most people end up snuffing that out. So by starting with the fact that of your own issues, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Before giving an adjustment to the other person, let the other person know that you walked down that same road and were probably worse, many times worse than they are now, and that gives them hope. Well, then if this leader was able to overcome it, so can I.